For millennia, a quiet whisper has echoed through the corridors of human history, a thread woven into the fabric of every ancient culture. From the sun-baked sands of Egypt to the misty mountains of India, from the olive groves of Greece to the sacred groves of Celtic lands, this whisper speaks of a truth so profound it transcends borders and centuries. It tells us that we, as humans, have forgotten who we truly are. That the life we live, filled with its routines, distractions, and fleeting desires, is but a dream, a veil draped over our true selves, and that there exist paths, practices, and sacred techniques designed to pierce that veil, to awaken the dormant memory of our soul's eternal essence. This isn't a new idea, nor is it a fanciful myth. It's a truth that has been carried in the hearts of shamans, seers, and mystics across time. It's the understanding that beneath the layers of who we think we are, our names, roles, and societal masks, lies a vibrant, eternal consciousness, a spark of the divine that has always known its purpose. Yet, this truth has been obscured, not by accident, but by design. The practices that could reconnect us to this sacred memory have been hidden, banned, or distorted into mere superstitions, their power locked away from those who might use it to awaken. Why? Because a soul that remembers its true nature is a force that cannot be controlled. It's a flame that burns too brightly for systems built on conformity, fear, and limitation. This is the story of a forbidden technique, a practice so potent that it was deliberately veiled, not because it was dangerous to you, but because it was dangerous to the structures that thrive on your forgetfulness. In this journey, we'll uncover the origins of this technique, explore why it was suppressed, and most importantly, reveal how you can use it to reconnect with the eternal truth of who you are. This isn't just a story. It's an invitation to awaken, to remember, and to step into the life you were always meant to live. Let's begin by traveling back in time to the cradle of human civilization, where the seeds of this forbidden technique were first sown. In ancient Egypt, within the hallowed halls of the houses of life, priests guided initiates through rituals so sacred they were shrouded in secrecy. These weren't mere ceremonies, they were journeys into the unseen. Initiates would undergo a symbolic death, their bodies lying still for hours as their consciousness was guided by a master through subtle spiritual realms. Imagine the scene: a dimly lit chamber, the air thick with the scent of myrrh, the initiate's breath slowing as they crossed the threshold between worlds. When they returned, they were transformed, not because they had learned something new, but because they had remembered something ancient. They had glimpsed the eternal spark within, the part of them that existed beyond time, beyond the physical body. In ancient Greece, the Orphic schools offered a different but equally profound path. They saw the soul as a divine prisoner, temporarily bound to the body as part of a cosmic purification process. Through chants that resonated like the hum of the universe, through breathwork that aligned the body with the stars, and through trance states that dissolved the ego's grip, initiates could free their souls to glimpse their divine origin. This wasn't about escaping the body, but about understanding its role as a vessel for something greater. The Orphics believed this experience was irreversible, a moment of remembrance that changed how you saw yourself and the world forever. Across the ocean, in the lush valleys of ancient India, the rishis, wise seers, whose eyes sparkled with the wisdom of the ages, taught the concept of smarana, or remembrance. To them, spiritual ignorance wasn't about lacking facts or scriptures. It was about disconnection, a forgetting of the soul's innate wisdom. The path back wasn't through accumulating more knowledge, but through unlearning the false, detaching from the noise of the world, and practicing silence to align one's inner vibrations with the universe's eternal rhythm. Picture a rishi, Sitting beneath a banyan tree, their breath slow and deliberate, their mind quiet, their heart open to the whispers of eternity. Through this practice, they reconnected with the soul's memory, a truth that had always been there, waiting to be uncovered. What unites these traditions, Egyptian, Greek, Indian, and countless others, is a singular truth. The essence of this technique is not about learning something external. It's about reconnecting with the spiritual memory that lies deep within you. It's about remembering who you are, not as a name or a role, but as a vibration, a living thread in the tapestry of existence. This technique, in its many forms, was never about adding to you. It was about stripping away the illusions that keep you from seeing your true self. But then came the darkness. As empires rose and fell, as religious wars scarred the earth and institutionalized spirituality replaced inner truth, these sacred practices were buried. What was once a path to remembrance became empty rituals, rigid dogmas, or outright heresy. The symbols that once guided souls to their truth were hidden in myths, their meanings diluted into fairy tales or mocked as superstition. The core teachings were sealed away, labeled dangerous, not to you, but to the systems that thrived on your forgetfulness. Why were these techniques suppressed? Because a soul that remembers its true nature is a soul that cannot be controlled. Imagine a world where every individual knew, without a shred of doubt, that they were a spark of the divine, a co-creator of reality, a being of infinite potential. Such a world would be impossible to govern through fear, manipulation, or scarcity. Systems built on external control, whether political, religious, or cultural, rely on your disconnection from your inner truth. They need you to believe you are small, limited, and dependent on external validation. The moment you remember who you are, that illusion crumbles, and with it, the power of those who profit from your forgetfulness. This suppression wasn't always overt. Sometimes it was subtle, a slow erosion of truth. Sacred texts were rewritten, rituals stripped of their depth, and teachings twisted into tools of control. The vibrant, living practices of remembrance were replaced with hollow ceremonies or dogmatic rules that kept the soul asleep. In some cases, the techniques were mocked, relegated to the realm of folklore, or dismissed as the ramblings of mystics. But the truth has a way of enduring, like a seed buried beneath the earth, waiting for the right moment to break through. Today, we stand at a turning point. The knowledge that was once hidden is resurfacing, not as something new, but as a memory awakening in those ready to receive it. You feel it, don't you? That quiet stirring in your chest, that sense that there's something more to you than the life you've been living. It's not a coincidence that you're here, reading these words, feeling that spark of recognition. The forbidden technique, the key to unlocking your soul's memory, has always been inside you, resting in the deepest parts of your consciousness, waiting for you to claim it. This technique isn't a set of rules or a complicated ritual. It's not something you memorize or perform to impress others. It's an internal process, a sacred journey of alignment that brings your body, mind, energy, and consciousness into harmony. Imagine your soul as a perfect melody, a song so pure and beautiful it resonates with the universe itself. But this melody is buried beneath layers of noise, outside beliefs, past traumas, societal conditioning, and the endless chatter of the modern world. The forbidden technique is like a master tuner, gently clearing away the interference, polishing the rough edges, and allowing that original melody to play once more. This process is both simple and profound, but it requires courage, dedication, and a willingness to face the truth. It's not about adding something new to who you are. It's about remembering what you've always been. And when you do, everything changes. Not because the world around you shifts, but because you see it with new eyes, hear it with new ears, and feel it with a heart that's fully awake. The forbidden technique unfolds in 3 main phases, each essential to awakening the soul's memory. These phases don't follow a rigid order, but they work together to guide you back to your true self. Let's explore each one, diving into the practical steps you can take to begin this journey today. The first and most challenging phase is deprogramming the false self, the version of you that's been shaped by external forces. From the moment you were born, the world began layering you with identities that aren't truly yours. You were told who you should be, what you should want, and what you should fear. These voices of parents, teachers, society, and media became the scripts you followed without questioning. They formed the masks you wear, the roles you play, and the beliefs you hold, often without realizing they don't belong to you. This phase is about peeling back those layers. It's about asking, who am I when I strip away everything that's been imposed on me? Start by observing your thoughts. What do you think about yourself? What do you desire? What do you fear? And then, with gentle curiosity, ask, is this really mine, or was it given to me by someone else? This isn't about fighting these thoughts or judging yourself for having them. It's about seeing them clearly, like clouds passing across a clear sky. Try this practice. Set aside 5 minutes each day to sit in silence. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and watch your thoughts as they arise. Don't engage with them. Just observe. Notice which thoughts feel heavy, repetitive, or tied to fear. Ask yourself, where did this come from? Does it align with who I truly am? Over time, this simple act of observation begins to loosen the grip of the false self. You'll start to see which parts of you are authentic and which are borrowed. This phase can be uncomfortable because it requires honesty. You may uncover beliefs you've held for years that don't serve you, ideas like, I'm not enough or I have to earn love. But this discomfort is a sign of progress. It means you're beginning to dismantle the illusions that have kept you asleep. As the noise of the false self begins to fade, something remarkable happens. A quiet, subtle sense emerges, one you've always had, but rarely noticed. This isn't your logical mind or your emotions. It's a direct perception, a knowing that bypasses words and concepts. The forbidden technique helps you awaken this inner sense through practices that ground you in the present moment and align your energy with your soul's frequency. One powerful way to activate this sense is through mindful breathing. Find a quiet space, sit comfortably and focus on your breath. Inhale deeply through your nose, feeling the air fill your lungs, and exhale slowly, releasing any tension. As you breathe, imagine a soft, warm light at the center of your chest. Your heart's lotus, an ancient symbol of the soul's awakening. With each breath, this light grows brighter, spreading warmth and clarity through your body. Don't force it, simply allow it to unfold. This practice isn't about achieving a specific outcome, but about tuning into the subtle vibrations within you. Another tool is visualization. Picture a symbol that resonates with you, an inner flame, a mirror reflecting your true self, or a lotus blooming in your heart. These aren't random images, they're universal archetypes that connect you to ancient memories. As you visualize, focus with devotion, not as a fantasy, but as a bridge to your soul's truth. For example, imagine a flame burning away doubts and fears, leaving only the pure essence of who you are. This act of focused imagination signals to your soul that you're ready to remember. Being fully present in your body is also key. Too often, we live in our heads, disconnected from the physical vessel that carries our soul. Try this. Stand barefoot on the ground, feel the earth beneath you, and notice the sensations in your body. Are your shoulders tense? Is your breath shallow? Gently bring your awareness to these areas, softening and releasing as you go. This practice grounds you in the present, creating space for your inner sense to emerge. The third phase is perhaps the most sacred, resonating with your true name. In deep spiritual traditions, every soul has a hidden name, not a word spoken aloud, but a unique vibration, a sacred frequency that defines your essence. When you align with this frequency, it's as if a door locked for centuries swings open. You don't remember with your mind, you remember with your entire being. You feel a powerful certainty. This is me. I've always been this way. I just forgot. To reach this resonance, you must embody a state of alignment. This isn't about chanting a mantra or repeating affirmations. It's about living in a way that matches your soul's frequency. Start by asking, what would the I version of me who knows their true self do right now? Then take one small action from that place. It could be as simple as speaking with kindness, moving with intention, or choosing trust over fear. Try this daily practice. Before you start your day, take a moment to set an intention. Close your eyes and say to yourself, "Today, I choose to live from my true self." Then, throughout the day, pause before key decisions and ask, "Does this align with my soul's frequency?" This practice trains you to act from your center, not from habit or external pressure. Another powerful tool is sound. In many traditions, sound is a gateway to the soul's vibration. Try humming softly, or chanting a simple syllable like Om or Ah. Feel the vibration in your chest, letting it resonate through your body. This isn't about singing perfectly, it's about connecting with the sound of your soul. Over time, you'll notice moments when this vibration feels like home, a sign that you're aligning with your true name. This phase requires patience and commitment. The soul's memory doesn't always reveal itself in a single moment. It unfolds gradually, like a flower opening to the sun. But once it begins, something irreversible happens. You start to see the world through the eyes of your true self. Fears lose their grip. Relationships deepen. Decisions flow from a place of clarity and purpose. As you practice these three phases, deprogramming the false self, activating your inner sense, and resonating with your true name, something extraordinary happens. Your soul begins to remember without effort. It's not a thought or an idea, it's a presence, a living experience. It's like a light switching on in a room you've always had, but never explored. You encounter parts of yourself that have been waiting to be seen. The you who loves without conditions, trusts without fear, and knows without needing to learn. But there's a quiet warning. Awakening isn't always a gentle process. As you remember who you are, you also confront who you're not. Old wounds, unresolved choices, and hidden shadows may surface. This isn't punishment, it's liberation. To embrace your whole soul, you must face your shadow, the parts of you you've buried or ignored. This takes courage and spiritual maturity, not measured by years, but by your willingness to face the truth. For example, you might realize you've clung to a belief that you're unworthy of love. As you sit with this realization, don't push it away. Acknowledge it, feel it, and then gently ask, is this true? Does this belong to my soul? Often you'll find that these beliefs were planted by others, parents, society, or past experiences, and they dissolve when seen clearly. When practiced with dedication, the forbidden technique reveals not just your light, but also your shadows. This is why ancient traditions warned that it's not for beginners. It's not about danger in the sense of harm, but about the intensity of facing your truth. Yet this intensity is also your freedom. Each shadow you confront becomes a step toward wholeness. For those who dive deeply into this practice, a remarkable shift occurs. You may enter what can be called a conscious trance, not the hypnotic state of losing yourself, but an expanded awareness where your soul takes the lead. In this state, you feel your body, but you also sense your surroundings from a slight distance. Your thoughts flow, but they no longer control you. Time feels fluid, almost elastic. Intuitions arise without explanation, and memories, sometimes from past lives or ancestral wisdom, emerge as if they've always been there. Imagine walking through a busy city street, cars honking, people rushing by, yet you feel a profound calm. You notice the chaos, but it doesn't pull you in. Instead, you move with a quiet certainty, guided by an inner compass. This is the conscious trance, a state where you live from your soul center, not your ego's reactions. To cultivate this state, practice presence in small moments. When you eat, savor each bite. When you walk, feel the ground beneath your feet. When you speak, let your words come from a place of truth. These acts anchor you in the present, creating space for your soul's awareness to shine through. Awakening is not a one-time event. It's a living practice. The forbidden technique is a compass for navigating daily life, turning the mundane into the sacred. Here are 5 practical principles to integrate this practice into your routine. Practice active silence. Dedicate a few minutes each day to sit in silence, not just the absence of sound, but a silence of full, undivided attention. Breathe deeply, observe your thoughts, and let them pass without judgment. This is your sanctuary where the echo of your true name begins to resonate. Turn actions into ceremonies. Make everyday actions, eating, walking, speaking, acts of presence. Before you act, ask, am I moving from my soul or from a mask? When you live from your center, even the smallest gestures become sacred, keeping your remembrance alive. Guard your mind's input. Your soul's memory is always present, but distractions can bury it. Be mindful of what you watch, read, and discuss. Choose inputs that uplift and align with your truth. Treat your attention like a precious resource, guarding it like an alchemist tending a sacred fire. Speak from your soul. Speak less and with intention. Let your words come from the place where your soul resides, not from habit or borrowed ideas. Words spoken from remembrance carry a resonance that can awaken others. Live as if you know. Act as if you already know who you are, even if the full memory hasn't surfaced. Walk with the confidence of someone carrying an ancient legacy. Love with the depth of someone who has loved for centuries. This isn't pretending, it's tuning into your soul's truth. For centuries, we've been told that awakening is hard, that the soul is a mystery beyond our grasp, that knowing who we are is a privilege reserved for a select few. But that's a lie. The most forbidden truth is simple, direct, and closer than your breath. It's the truth that those who profit from your forgetfulness fear most. You are a vibrant part of eternal consciousness, a note in a cosmic symphony that's still playing. This journey isn't a collection of abstract ideas. It's a map, a signal, a torch for those who sense there's something more, something beyond the name you use, the roles you play, the stories you've been told. You are not those things. You never were. You are a living spark of the divine, an ancient memory dressed in the present. And yes, you forgot. We all did. But the key is this. You can remember. The forbidden technique is not a new invention or a product to be sold. It's a reflection of what's always been inside you. You don't need gurus, rituals, or perfection. You need only to return to your center, quiet the noise, and allow your soul's infinite wisdom to guide you home. When you remember who you are, the world transforms. You stop seeing enemies and start seeing mirrors, reflections of the same divine spark in others. You stop fearing the future and begin honoring it as a canvas for your soul's expression. You stop repeating broken stories and start writing from your truth. This remembrance changes everything. You no longer need approval because you're connected to something greater. You no longer need all the answers because your silence is wise. You no longer chase love because you realize you are love. This is not an empty promise. It's an invitation, one that requires courage to accept. The path of remembrance is beautiful, but not always comfortable. It strips away everything that isn't you, rebuilds you from the inside, and brings you face to face with what you've hidden. But in that confrontation lies your freedom, your power, your truth. If these words stir something within you, if a part of you whispers, "Yes, this is for me," don't let that spark fade. Act on it. Subscribe to this journey, not just to a channel, but to a movement of awakened souls. Share this message with those who need to remember, because there's no revolution greater than a soul that knows itself. You're not here to learn. You're here to remember, and that remembering has already begun. Take a deep breath, feel the truth in your bones, and step forward. The forbidden technique is yours to claim, and the world is waiting for you to shine. What did you think about today's video? Feel free to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If this video opened your mind or helped you see reality in a new light, don't forget to like and subscribe to Top Hidden Knowledge so you never miss our next deep dive into mystery, perception, and the hidden workings of our universe. And if you have time, explore more videos on our channel. We're just getting started. Until next time, stay curious, stay aware, and never stop questioning the world around you.